welcome back to the Common Cinema Crew. And we're here on this lovely Sunday to talk about Secret Invasion, Episode 2. Got everything rhyming like that. I like that this week. But anyway, we're here to discuss this and give a full spoiler review. I want to say that ahead of time to get deep dive into it, talk about it left, right, down, in, and out. This week, I want to introduce the panel, of course. Of course, we got back lovely Miss Chloe Diz with all her facts and opinions. What's up, Chloe?
What's up, y'all?
And my man, he didn't make it last week, but he's back this week and for the future weeks. Mr. E Money, what's good, E?
What's going on? What's going on?
Okay, and up top we got Josh Monger, the true ruler of Wakanda. What's up, Josh? So, E, you were speaking in the backstage, but I want to because you weren't here last week. So let me get your thoughts on episode 1. Since you weren't here last week, how you felt about that?
Yo, I really liked it, and it really surprised me when Maria Hill got her shit blew back. You feel me? Like, damn, that. And when I said it in one of my group chats, like, yo, they done killed motherfuckers that been with us for a long time, so it made more people go and watch it. And then some people was like, yeah, man, don't nobody care about Maria Hill. I'm like, nah, she been around for a long time, man.
Yo, Chloe said, what did Chloe say? I know that.
Who's this woman? Who is this woman? I don't remember her. Sorry to this woman. Sorry to this woman. I don't remember her. That just real talk. I do not remember her. She was not memorable for me. So when she died, I was just like, man. And her mom was mad. I was like, I get that, but I don't know who this woman is. Like, let's go. Like, move the story along.
Wakanda respects Maria Hill.
Right. I feel bad for the mom.
I'm with E. Like, she been around for a minute and like mad movies and shit like that. So
mad movies, yo.
Yeah.
I don't remember her in any. Like, I can't name a movie she was in.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Captain America: Winter Soldier. We talk about that.
Captain America: Winter Soldier. Avengers. Yes. Avengers: Infinity War.
All of them. Yeah. Like all of this.
I don't remember her. I just remember Samuel Jackson.
Okay. I guess she never had like a significant part though, but she was around though.
Yeah. She was just in the background doing stuff.
And they kind of did her dirty. We talking about this other chat, but from the comics, because in the comics she really do a whole lot. Shit like
right.
That.
Age of Ultron.
She was on that too. Age of Ultron as well. So.
I mean, context clues I could probably say, oh yeah, she was in.
Anyway, moving forward to episode 2 that we're on right now. So as you just alluded to, E, it did end with Maria Hill dying, and it ended with Fury standing over top of her, presumably thinking that he's the one that killed her, and as well that since he was there and they're both there as U.S. Agents, they're responsible for the bombing. Since the guy who was getting taken away kept screaming, I'm an American, though we know he was a Skrull and stuff like that. So looks like Gravik's plan is kind of taking shape to kind of get the wars against each other. So then in the beginning we see that they do take the guy, and then somebody snaps Fury up, but it's really Talos, getting him away from the whole situation and stuff like that. And then we get this whole right away, and we get this whole train scene between Fury and Talos, and it was a lot happening in that scene. So I don't go into detail by detail, but let me ask Josh, how you feel about this Fury and Talos back and forth, this questioning Talos, letting him know there's a million Skrulls on Earth right now and stuff like that?
I mean, ultimate deception. This is why the Skrulls always get kicked out of wherever they are, because they're deceptive, they're manipulative, even physically, right? So you're consciously trying to, deceive us. So of course that's not going to go well anywhere with any species, any alien species, any human beings, anybody. So the way that y'all conduct business is not really warranted. And for me personally, considering who my lineage is, I didn't really appreciate that in terms of how they're trying to parallel that with the African American struggle personally, because the African Americans weren't even doing the things that the Skrulls are doing. So even to put that connection in there, me personally, I see what they were trying to do, but it kind of fell on deaf ears for me personally.
Yeah, and also speak to that, yo. I do want to say, I'm tired of them talking about how Fury a black man in Russia. Like, we gotta get past that, okay? Like, we understand. They said it again in this episode. So, and that he's couldn't be found. But hey, let me holler at you, man. So I got your opinion here. How you feeling about Fury and Talos and their relationship and that whole train conversation they had, dude?
All right, so I like the relationship, but the train conversation was deep, and I like how Samuel Jackson was like, yo, it ain't even we can't even get past race and color of skin, much less y'all coming on the planet and being over here. Are you out of your what do you say, out of your reptilian ass mind? Like, yo, that was it for me right there. I loved every bit of that. This is why I love the show, because it's because of him. Right. It's him, man. He's carrying that joint, and it don't even feel like a show. It feel like a movie when it's him.
Okay. Chloe, how you feel about Talos' revelation about how many scrolls are actually here and how he been keeping it from Fury and stuff like that?
I mean, all right, I'm gonna get deep for a second. It's just like black folk, right? We just be letting anybody in, trusting them, and then they just deceive us.
Right.
Like, oh, it's okay. We've been persecuted. You can find a home here, but only a little of y'all. And then the white man / Skrull, like befriended him, right? Manipulated the situation, and then blamed him. He blamed Samuel L. Jackson, like, well, you the one who left up there to the space station. You the one who floated away. What do you think we were supposed to do? And he like, man, that wasn't the deal. Like, are you crazy? So I usually I'm more like sensitive like to them, like Marvel, I guess, introducing these cultural nuances into the show. Like I did not like it with Falcon Winter Soldier. I mean, but yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier. It was cringy to me. This is less cringy to me because maybe it's Samuel L. Jackson and he's being real. Like, it's not like you could tell that I don't want to misspeak, but it sounds more like someone from the culture wrote these lines instead of like somebody from the outside writing these lines. So I need to do more research into like who actually wrote the show, because it's like not really cringy to me. It's just like, damn, they going there on this show? Okay, like let's see where this going to go. Let's see. So I enjoyed that scene in the train, and I enjoyed the fact that like Sam is really like, he's been the wokest character, period. I feel like, and I didn't know much about Fury. He was just some black asshole, like like some black dude who you knew you couldn't fuck with because he knew what he was doing, and he just, I don't know. I like that this season you're getting to know him. And it's giving context to why he is how he is and like where he got to where he got. And that scene in the train was dope.
Yeah, I thought the dialogue was really well written.
Right.
In that scene, going back to when he talked about how him and his mom was riding the train. He was a little boy in the South. Let's play the game. Tell me something I don't know. I swear. My only problem I'm having is, why is it hard for people to believe what the Skrulls are doing, or that there even is Skrulls, when we just had Thanos?
I don't think they know about them.
Like, once we had Thanos, everything's off the table. Once he said something about the Skrulls, it's like, I don't know. I just don't understand. I ain't understand War Machine's issue.
Well, we'll get to that conversation. But the thing about this episode is, it's weird because there was a lot of conversations and not crazy action, but they were all deep and great conversations. So I feel you on that. But next we got and you alluded to this too. Speaking of him getting blamed for stuff, Fury, Maria Hill's mom blamed him for her death at the whole funeral situation and stuff like that, and said it was on her. Okay, go ahead, Chloe. Like, you talk about that.
Your daughter wanted to be Miss Superhero. Like, nobody asked her to do that job. Like, I'm sorry, but like, why should he feel responsible for your daughter's death? Like, where's her responsibility in this? She the one who works for him. She chose to be a career woman in this crazy field that death was imminent. They all gonna die by something.
Right.
You know about aliens and stuff, and you gonna be mad because your daughter came home dead. Like, I get it because people, they misplace their aggression. Yeah. but it's just like, yeah.
Hey, how you felt about that funeral scene? Yeah.
I actually liked it. I liked it because every person that, like, for me, she's been around for a long time, so I know he would. I would expect him to know the mom.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, and the way she was like, yeah, she looked up to you. You were here, and he was all teary eyed, man. And look, he didn't even have to say words. I don't even think he said anything. He just gave her certain looks.
Yeah.
Man, great acting.
Tell her how he died. He didn't have to tell her how she died. He could have just lied. So I respect that he did tell her.
Yeah, he definitely told her.
Yeah. It's my fault. Well, he did say it was his fault, didn't he?
He told her where she died and how she died.
Yeah.
And he said the guy was after. He didn't say it was my fault.
He
said
the guy was after me. Yeah.
Right.
That's I guess that's kind of taking blame.
Yeah, but it's not. But Josh, how you feel about it? Let me get you in there.
I feel like we see this trope often in Hollywood. Whenever there's the military involved and a someone who's in a superior position like Nick Fury, if an underling gets killed, they get blamed for it. That goes with the job duty. But it's kind of like, it's kind of like the 5 stages of grief. You have to blame somebody. So of course they're going to use that figure to be the blame because technically he is responsible. He's on the line. So that's how that goes. But it's kind of like, as Chloe said, and as he said, I mean, like, this is literally what you signed up for. And if we're being honest, through the entire Infinity Saga, she has literally treated death as like plot armor. So it's like about time.
Yeah, because she has no, powers at all.
Scarlett Johansson.
She's not even, but at least Scarlett Johansson like a super spy.
Assassin.
Yeah, this girl is like a regular agent and shit like that to me. So she just cheat death, and then on top of that, like she got a hero's welcome. She got a great salute funeral.
Right.
I'm sure her mom will be taken care of for the rest of her life and shit like that. So it's like, you be alright, lady. But anyway, just her daughter. I do get it, you know what I mean. But again, it's part of the job, you know what I mean. And she's been doing it for so many years. You gotta expect it at some point for it to happen. Moving forward though, Gravik. Well, so we see. First of all, I do want to say they're underusing Emilia Clarke's character, Gaia, a lot to me.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
she does. She's like the driver. She fucking driving Miss Daisy and shit. She's like fucking Morgan Freeman and shit, basically. But
see, I used to her riding dragons. I think her place is perfect.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
For me, we do see her driving Gravik, and then he goes to this meeting where she's not allowed in. Or whatever. So she's always in the background of me. But anyway, in this meeting, we find out a lot of the world's leaders are Skrulls. You know, from not only just world leader, but also the Fox News guy, and then like the person, what are they called? The England's person.
Prime Minister.
Yeah, Prime Minister, and like all these people are Skrulls, and they have like a council basically, and they were upset with Gravik at first for what he did, and then one of them was already down with the get down. And she basically tell him like we gotta let Gravik be our leader if we want to kind of take over this planet or whatever. So we'll get Josh here first. How you felt about this whole meeting and the outcome of this meeting that they have with Gravik?
Oh man, secret society trying to keep their eye on me. It's very interesting that they use the Skrulls or the reptilians, as Fury refers them to, as these people who are influencers, policymakers on a local level, but also an international level. I thought that was very interesting. In addition to some other names that we haven't known yet. And to your point, Big Mike, I think they're underusing Emilia Clarke for a reason, because eventually I believe she will become queen of the Skrulls, because that's where the rumors were beforehand that Emilia Clarke was going to play the queen. So of course, talked about the Queen of Dragons. She could clearly fill that role, and we'll get into it later. But what she discovered in her actions towards that, I still support my theory that she is a double agent, if not a triple agent, because she's a Skrull. So that's how I view this. I feel everyone who's a Skrull is essentially a double agent by default because of their shape-shifting ability. So I'm viewing this as a very espionage content, and I'm just saying I think multiple characters are playing multiple sides personally.
Okay.
Even Gravik, by the way, let me say that.
And before I move on from that, how you felt about them ultimately making him leader at the meeting, Josh?
it makes sense because they remind me of the Wakandans, of course, who are a warrior society. So, of course, the strongest leader is going to be elected as the leader, as Talos was, but he got soft.
He did, yeah. He got older. It's funny. I think the Earth softened Talos up. It's kind of funny how it kind of happened with that. So, but E, how you feel about this whole meeting and how it wound up in there? How they pumped
well, I at first I figured he was gonna try to kill all of them and stuff like that because I thought they were gonna all disagree.
Right.
But then I started paying attention. Shorty was definitely on his side from the gate. From the gate. So and then my man, the other politician, tried to show out. He should have just kept showing out. How you gonna let the man yoke you up and do all that? Right. Keep showing out. But I understand he's gonna be the first one to vote him in. Like, come on, man. But yeah, I got it.
Okay, Chloe.
I figured
watching that. What were your thoughts there?
I think it was just symbolism for how much they've already infiltrated the society. Because if they're able to be those type of figures, like those type of social figures, that means that they've already, like, they've been in this for a minute. They've been invading for a while. That's what I got from that scene. I love the main character. Like, what's his name? Gravik. I'm excited to see that actor because he's a good actor. Like, I've never seen that dude before.
He played Malcolm X.
Oh, really? See, I just never seen him before.
One Night in Miami or something like that. He played a few characters.
Yeah.
Well, this is my introduction to him as an actor. So, like, to see him, and that's why I said I like that Daenerys is kind of. What's her name?
Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke is kind of taking the back burner right now because she letting him shine, and I would love to see how his character develops and like how badass he really is. Because he's so young, right? He's like a young Skrull compared to the rest of them, but he's like a good bad guy. Like, I've been waiting for a really good bad guy besides King, and like this to me, even though he black, I'm like, damn, why he gotta be black? But you know, it's kind of cool to watch. But that's always in the back of my head, like, oh, she's fair, she's pale skinned, she has blonde hair, she represents like the good Skrull. And then he's black, and he's, even though he light skinned, he still represents like evil. You know what I'm
saying? Well, I figured he turned black because of Nick Fury. Like, looking up to him as being a young Skrull.
That's fair. Maybe that was like his dad figure in the girl.
Yeah, experiencing that struggle. Yeah,
it's definitely a deeper relationship we haven't seen yet between. Fury. And
probably his dad. That's his dad. I honestly think, and that's my prediction, that's Fury's son. That's his son.
You think his son?
And I think he had been. You know why? Because Marvel has been going with this father theme for a very long time now, and so we don't know anything about Fury. Yeah. We'll get to that at the end more about him. But I have a feeling that that's his son.
I think it's interesting that they haven't had any dialogue yet, him and him. Only looking at each other in the bombing site. So I think it's weird. It's like they're saving that for like.
That's his daddy. That looked like a dad. That looked like a scorned child who got abandoned, like Killmonger, and he just wants his father's love. And his father promised him something, and then abandoned him and went to a spaceship and left him on Earth. This is why I don't watch previews, y'all, because I could figure out the story. But just mark my words. I feel like that's his son.
Well, what we're gonna say about that in the meeting, though. I don't know. So you could be right.
I could be wrong. But
you could be right too. Also, he played Bob Marley too before. He's a real good actor.
He played Bob Marley. I have to watch his other movies now.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't watch movies like that.
I know.
But again, my problem is, you're mad at Fury, but Fury was snapped for 5 years. You get what I'm saying? And it had to be Skrulls that got snapped too. So the fact of the matter is, like, why are y'all tripping like that when y'all know what really happened?
No. I get what you're saying, but they tripping because they've been here since 1995, and he promised them to find them a homeland for many years, and he ain't find that shit yet. But that's why they're like, you never found us our own world or whatever like that. And
so taking this one.
And him and Carol. Honestly, low key, Carol should be on the chopping block too. But They can't fire her ass.
They can't beat Carol. That's the problem. Niggas can't beat Carol.
Right. That too. Whatever like that. But she was actually a part of this shit too. Her ass off world somewhere, whatever like that. But you're right. They can't fuck her anyway. Shit like that.
They can't fuck with her.
Nah. But anyway, next, speaking of what you said, Josh, with the Emilia Clarke of it all, we see her kind of doing this kind of investigating. You know, when they go back to the base, and she's noticing that they have these pillars set up. You know, and then she's noticing that she goes on her own computer. I guess her little spy investigation herself, and she sees what we see, that they're using different DNA from different species to create these super scrolls, so to speak. But then she doesn't let Gravik know what she's doing before they ultimately leave. So, Josh, how did that? How you felt about that whole part with her and her investigating it?
I thought that was a great inclusion by the MCU to welcome the Fantastic Four and possibly X-Men, personally, because the power sets of the creatures that they captured, hinted at the the Super Skrull storyline from the comic book, so which makes sense. So he's trying to create his own super soldiers, as are the human beings. And that's why I never bought his holier than art thou perspective, because you're doing exactly what human beings do, but you're saying you're better than human beings.
Right.
And at the same time, there's no one else in the galaxy, in the MCU, in any multiverse that welcomes the Skrulls for a reason. So y'all need to take a little bit more personal responsibility. Like, oh no, we're just the oppressed victim. Nah. Y'all literally abduct people, take their memories, and become them. You literally rob them of their sovereign rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a being in existence. So y'all are not welcome anywhere you go because of your own behavior. It's not anything else.
It's not tolerated. And then I love the fact of the things they put on that computer.
Yeah.
Because it ties up the universe a lot. I like that.
Yeah, Groot, Cole Obsidian, what are they from Iron Man 3?
The Extremists, and the Frost Giant dog thing.
Yeah,
remember, because that shit was running around at what
Infinity War?
That's
that's called Obsidian. But that thing, that Frost Giant thing with the horns, that was it. Yeah, remember they ran off trying to eat the birds. They was trying to eat the birds, and I was wondering. I was like, so Thor just left them shits running around?
Yeah, I remember that shit. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, Chloe, just get into it. Well, yeah, actually, so how you felt about her, finding what she found and all that stuff and investigating it? I guess.
Man, I loved it. Like I said, it made the universe. It put it full circle again to me. That's what I like. I like when I get the Easter eggs. I like how they put all that together. That was great. Just to see how they use Groot. I like that. Yo, she got on that computer and she did that real fast. I appreciate. She bust that move real quick before he caught her ass, because I thought she was caught.
Yeah. Not Josh. Chloe, how you feel about what Josh saying about her being a double or triple agent, like where her mindset is? Because her father's on one side and she's with Gravik, and what she's thinking.
I will have two thoughts. So to answer that question, yeah, I think she's a double agent. I think she has her own motives, right? I think that she's seeing his leadership, and she's like, when I'm leader, I'm not leading like that, because he's ruthless. He doing all this stuff. He trying to war, and my father instilled different values in me, so I can do it better. So I think that she's trying to get enough intel so she knows what's going on, so that she could. And then she's also knowing that people aren't trusting him anymore. So I think that she's trying to get enough information so she can kind of like rise to the top and do it her way, because she's not in agreement as other people with how he's running things. And then the second thing I remember, and we didn't talk about this when Sam was in the train at Talk, he also alluded to the fact that, because remember when Talos was like, oh, why don't you just bring the Avengers here? And he's like,
yeah, I forgot about that.
Heck no. So they could just be pretending to be Avengers and setting off like an issue. So it's interesting that he said that before we actually find out that she's on the computer looking at, wait, he's actually making these Avenger type scrolls that can turn or mimic people that are already superheroes. So that was kind of dope. Cause I didn't think about that. I'm like, yeah, where the Avengers at? Like, they could just come here. He like, no, they could just turn into Avengers, and then everybody's gonna hate the Avengers.
Yeah.
Right.
Because nobody understands the scrolls. And to E's point, like, people don't believe the scrolls exist because they don't know about them.
Right.
Right.
Like
Right.
the minute that they see, and I think it'll all be revealed to like the regular people, like say their favorite personality, I don't know, one of the Fox News guys or something gets killed on camera.
Woo!
Turns into a scroll or something.
Woo!
And
Pandemonium.
then it's gonna be like, oh my God, who
Anybody, right?
Yeah, anybody can get it. So I think that's gonna be some. I would like to see that in this season, like something crazy like that, where and then everybody realizes like, oh snap, there's a war, and then they looking at their neighbors like, is you a scroll or not? Like, because they're basically passing as people.
Yeah.
Right. Stealing memories.
That would
like
be
Josh said.
That would be a great scene. What you're talking about, actually. Like the Fox News guy gets shot.
Right.
On live
Oh.
TV. Yeah, that would be dope.
And then people start looking around, then they start showing people in their house not trusting other people.
Yeah, not trusting their families and stuff.
Yo.
Not knowing
you should have wrote the show. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, Frost Beast. That's what that thing was called. A Frost Beast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Frost Beast.
So what is that going to give them the power of ice?
They said when we watched New Rock, I watched New Rock Stars, and they said the Groot was the stretchy thing.
Yeah,
like
they're going to be stretching like Groot, right?
They're gonna be fire like
Johnny Storm off the Extremists.
Yeah, and that came from the guy that like turns into fire.
Yeah,
or, like, heats up. And then the other one was it Invisibility? I think one was like Invisibility or something.
Well, it was if they did Fantastic Four, but
I think they're going to mimic the Fantastic Four or something.
So what's going to be invisible? Because
what was the Frost Beast powers?
I thought it was just
no. It was like the Rock dude. The Frost Beast was the Rock dude.
Then what about Call Obsidian? Call Obsidian's a big monster.
Maybe he was the Rock dude. What's the other Fantastic Four power?
Invisibility.
Yeah. So maybe the Frost one turns into ice and he's invisible or something. I don't know.
That could be that.
They're like taking specific.
I don't know what's their powers in the first place. The Frost Beast. That's the question.
Yeah, it was just a big monster, but they're probably going to make it use ice.
I think the Frost Beast did turn into visible. Remember, and then they just showed up. Am I imagining that? Wasn't that in what was the one with the people that were gods?
Thor?
Eternals.
Yeah, the Frost Beast was in Thor Dark World. Yeah.
And Thor. They was in the first
Speed. Frost Beast is Speed.
Frost Beast. Oh, Speed.
Massive size and can run at incredible speeds. So I think it's like Flash or something.
Well, we're gonna see soon. But we do know from the trailers, we do see gravity with the Groot powers. So, with the Groot powers. Moving forward, though, so we get Rhodey in this episode. A lot of Rhodey, actually. So Rhodey is on with the Senate, and they're kind of like questioning him about what happened over in Moscow. And of course, because the guy said, I'm an American, they're blaming it on Fury and Maria Hill. Rhodey's doing his best, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any knowledge of this, blah, blah, blah. After he's leaving, he gets a call from Fury to meet up. And they had this powerful conversation, a little bit of macho, who's more stronger, who has a better title. And ultimately, Rhodey fires Fury for, I guess, being there in the first place. Kind of like cleaning up everything. So let me go to E first. How you felt this conversation between Rhodey and Fury? So.
Love Fury. Did not like Rhodey's part of this conversation. First of all, Rhodey, like this is weird to me because first of all, you're an Avenger.
Right.
You already know how shit get.
Right.
When Fury talking about something being spooky, automatically cha-ching in your head, something spooky going on.
Right.
When he asking you about your security detail and stuff like that, something crazy is going on, man. Like, he's not. When have we known Fury for bullshitting, especially being an Avenger?
Right.
Like, come on. So that could be, that gave me a little question mark on Rhodey. Like, is that even Rhodey? Like, shit, because that was goofy.
That's a big fact. hold on, before you go, I spy in the chat. They said Rhodey is a scroll, but that convo, damn.
Right.
I think he's a scroll too. That ain't Rhodey.
Yeah, because that I can't see Rhodey thinking like that. Like,
and then when he's, you know how I'm figuring out who's the scrolls? When somebody like says, "Oh, they're scrolls," they don't even feel shocked. They like, "Oh man," what? They kind of dismissive.
Right, yeah, like,
and it's like that tells me you're a scroll. Yeah, he was too dismissive. Like, nah, you a scroll, bro.
To be an Avenger, like,
yeah, nah. Rhodey locked up in that basement. They gonna find Rhodey like with the things like.
Yeah. That was that commentary on like both of them being black men in that position too, and like it seemed like Rhodey was trying to protect that. It was I don't know, it was a good conversation. But Josh, how you felt about the whole thing with Rhodey and all that stuff? So.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. Rhodey is that Rhodey is a scroll. Excuse me, but at the same time, it kind of begs the question: how long has he been a Rhodey scroll, and how long has he, been able to absorb this aspect? Because you gotta conceptually be in it in order to be aware of it, of Black culture,
right?
To talk about that from being on the inside versus the outside, and as Mike was alluding to, both Fury, who's more on the outside in the clandestine arts, and Rhodey's more of a I'm going to affect change within the system.
Yeah,
I thought that was a very powerful motif there, and that powerful metaphor there. So I thought it was very interesting to see, like, okay, kind of like the spook who sat near the door, is Rhodey an actual spy for the scroll? Because I think the scroll realize who powerful people are, and especially if you're African American, you can impact a lot of change. You have a lot of influence,
right,
in the world as a Black American specifically. So I think that would be a very strategic person to copy as a scroll, and he has ties to Iron Man, which gives you like literally the rest of the world right there. So in terms of demographics, in terms of scroll support, if Rhodey all of a sudden like, hey, we might need to support these scrolls, or like any other, the NATO officer or the Prime Minister of England, if all those powerful, influential people are like, hey, we should break bread with them, right? We should do X, Y, and Z, so we don't have any more Infinity War level events. So it's very interesting how they have that power of society.
Yeah, I mean, he is a high-ranking colonel, so yeah, he will be a good person to kind of infiltrate there. And they said here, simply Pro on Game, it said probably from the start of the Stark events. That'd be going way back to like Iron Man 1.
Yeah, that's too far. Yeah,
since he got knocked out, maybe when he got knocked out, they swapped him out.
Oh, you talking about Civil War?
Because they did a flashback to that, didn't they?
Not really.
Am I tripping?
Nah, yeah. He just hit that ground real hard, and then Falcon landed, said I'm sorry, and then Tony shot his ass. And then next he had the robot legs.
If y'all think Rhodey is Skrull, and I said I don't agree with y'all, why not just kill Fury instead of firing him?
Because they don't want to kill Fury.
Yeah, you need to see how the plan unravels. And with the Skrulls, they're observers before they take action. So they see the entire chessboard before they see what chess pieces to make, which is why I feel like that's part of the intro.
And why kill Fury when you can blame it all on him?
Exactly.
That's true too.
That's what, and that alludes to it, like what he said. Why kill him when you could blame him?
Yeah.
Like if Fury's a very powerful, well-known person. So, and then the dude, whatever his name is, Maverick. Did I say it right?
Gravik.
Oh yeah,
Gravik.
Gravik. Yeah.
He already turned into Fury, so he already telling him like, "Yup, I'm gonna turn into you and kill people." Boom. It's a little snippet about what I'm about to do to you, bro. Gave him a little preview.
And you know what pissed me off? Fury ain't wear that patch, man.
Nah.
I don't want him to wear the patch. I
do, because if you wear the patch, then you and then Gravik took the form of you with the patch. He can never tell you what your eye really looks like. You'll have that secret.
That's his daddy. He know what his daddy look like.
Oh shit.
I like his new look with the little hat and the glasses.
Yeah.
I think it's tough or whatever like that.
And Fury not slow. Like he want people to think he lost it. He doing that intentionally.
Yeah, I know that's intentional. Yeah.
But now I don't think he can hold it in. He like, all right, enough's enough.
we see he broke my man arm and shit. Rhodey.
Yeah, you see what he told Rhodey. Even when I'm out, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What's wrong with you?
That was my favorite scene.
Like, what's wrong with you?
I do have a confession though, guys. I fell asleep watching it again the first time. I had to rewatch it today. It's fun. It's funny because the first half of the show be boring to me, and then all the action happens at the end. Because when I rewatched it again today, I was like, "Oh, this is good." I'm over here falling asleep.
You got to get to the action part.
Right. It'd be thrilling me. So I'm just like, ooh, what's happening?
Shoulder something like.
It's a lot of talking. It's just a lot of talk. It's a lot of dialogue. So you got to be like in a space to like.
A lot of dialogue.
Watch it.
You got to be used to like movies like this, like with a lot of dialogue and stuff like that. Like, but normally like a lot of spy political movies. That's what it is. A lot of dialogue. So. I'm used to that, but it gotta be very, very look at Josh.
Can't watch it after 9 p.m. We gotta switch that time.
Yeah.
Gotta watch it like 7.
I be watching that shit at 3.
In the morning.
Wow. I'll be up though now. I should start watching that bitch at 3 because I do be up now. So, but
not me. I'll be out 9:30.
Well, speaking of a little more action, I don't know, but what's her name? The English lady who's like MI6?
I like her.
Right now.
She's a Skrull.
The one with the owl?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so, all right. So, one of the dudes the guy who said I'm American at the bomb, they got him for questions and stuff like that. And I guess they're using the Russians to question him. So she rolled up in this little meatpacking joint and, let herself in. And then they bring her along and, their question not working. So she's like, no, I got this and stuff like that. So she starts to use this, her methods and stuff. As well at the same time, we see Gravik and them trying to get there, trying to catch up to her to see what the hell going on and stuff like that. But she got all these methods, and that was a good scene too. So let me start with Josh. How you felt about her in that scene and her coming in for the questioning and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, another display of the espionage arts. I mean, first question she asked when she got in there, "Oh, where's the drain?"
Yeah.
So she planned her escape from the beginning. So I had to put respect on that for being that clever, right? But then had the truth teller, the truth serum, by having the type of whatever, I don't know if this is space magic or technology to make your blood boil. So even as a human or a Skrull, that shit gotta hurt. Like, damn.
Right.
So, and I thought that was very clever to also, use the, let's say the Hollywood cop or the Hollywood detective trick of making your comrades, your fellow gang members, in this case it would be the Skrull, believe that you talk anyway. So, and I thought that was very clever, and I thought that was clever by Emilia Clarke, Gaia, for disclosing the safe house location, so it could also be pinned on him as well within the gang community, and he would be executed for that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the first thing she did was chop his finger off to verify he is a Skrull.
Right.
She walked in there, and that's when you no, she ain't playing, stuff like that. And then she kind of started doing her questioning as well after she bossed her way in. So how you felt about that whole thing?
Man,
her interrogation.
Man, I love that shit. When she cut his finger off and I saw the green, I was like, ooh. That shit that was fire, man. That was another good fire moment of the show. Like I said, to me, the show is like a movie. I really, really enjoy it. But after she cut his joint off, so you think she's a Skrull? I just thought she was a badass Nick Fury type woman.
Everybody a Skrull.
Not everybody, but she's a Skrull. Mark my words.
Yeah. See, I thought she had information on him enough to do that.
I think she's a Skrull who wants leadership. I think this is a secret invasion, but it's also a ploy for power within the Skrull community. If there's a million Skrulls, they play in the same political game that Americans are playing, or not, humans are playing. So I think that there's some powerhouses within the Skrull community because there's people who are at bat with each other. That's what the whole scene about the round table was. Everyone's not in the same agreement. So when it happens, different people rise to the occasion. So I think Guy is trying to be the leader. I think the CIA lady, she's trying to be the leader of the Skrulls, and obviously Gravik. Right. another note, I'm like, this show ain't for kids.
Right.
Did you see her?
Right.
Did you hear the comment she made when the dude was doing something? And she was like something to the effect of like, didn't your mom tell you might poke your eye out if you beat your meat like that? Or she said something. Did y'all hear that?
Oh no.
Y'all didn't hear that?
I missed that one.
I missed that.
I
heard you. I remember her saying something about your mom telling you something.
Rewatch it.
All right.
But even the whole chopping the finger off, because the finger was bleeding, like
and then that part was nasty. I'm like, oh, this not for kids. Like they're doing a lot of gun stuff, blowing stuff up, people bodies flying.
Right.
I kind of wish it was like they said this is not for kids because it's on Disney. So like for me,
wow,
like,
if Endgame's on there.
Well, Endgame wasn't this graphic, bro.
It wasn't, bro, at all.
Thanos got his head chopped off.
That's what I'm saying. Thanos got
his head chopped off.
How's that not graphic for Disney?
Because he's not a person.
Neither is that. That was.
But they look like humans.
They look like humans.
Until they die.
But no, not just them, but actual humans got killed in the bombing.
That's it.
And you also have to remember, like the children that we're raising, they've been through some traumatic events, like COVID and stuff. Like these kids ain't the same kid. Kind of like when we went through 9/11, like we are exposed to actual trauma. So the fact that they're showing like a show where there's like actual countries warring and stuff, that's definitely going to affect some children because it affects me as an adult.
I kind of agree with Chloe. They should have like at least the parental the thing they got on Disney Plus for like Daredevil or whatever though, like thing on there to watch that type of
talking about beating your meat, like you could lose an eye like that beating your meat.
They allowed F-bombs in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, so they
and
Deadpool as well. So come on,
you're allowed one F-bomb when it's PG-13, but here's the thing. It say PG-13. How many 11 or 10 or 9-year-olds are watching these?
Or 8 or 7, 6 got Disney Plus. Like this should be on the adult side of Disney Plus with She-Hulk.
I agree.
It's not.
No,
I don't think so. I didn't.
I didn't. Mine ain't set up like that. Yeah.
PG-13 is like. I mean, I see what they're trying to get at this stage, 13-year-olds, but like because it's a Marvel and Disney. 8-year-olds gonna watch it. Oh shit, it's a Disney show. Whatever. Like,
yeah, my nephew definitely gonna watch it. He might be bored out of his mind, but he gonna try to watch it. Like he might not understand what's going on until the chopping of the fingers start happening.
Then for my next scene is to close point. So the lady gets away, like Josh said, she got her escape route right on time, and I love that when like these older ladies like still doing it, but they move real slow, but still get away. Like,
she got tools.
Right. So. But then they get the guy. They come in there in this whole like action sequence with the Skrulls fighting and shooting. There's your action right there inside this little meat packing joint. And then they get him, and then when they go, safe house is compromised, so they take him in the woods and they shoot him execution style and stuff like that. Also in the woods, which is crazy. So, how you felt about the whole action sequence when they came in there and got him and them killing him and stuff like that?
I mean, they was late. So and I didn't even know Gravik knew about her, to be honest. The lady in the pink.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was on to her because she be moving in the streets like she gangster, and she always goes back to the same place where the office is bugged at. So how could he be really looking for her?
Is she a Skrull? Watch.
She might be. You might be right on that.
Daddy. She is Skrull.
Josh, how you felt about the action sequence and them ultimately taking out their comrade, their Skrulls?
Oh yeah, I thought it was great storytelling in terms of stakes because I understand what he's saying, I understand what Chloe's saying, but I still think she is on the human side. For the fact that she's operating within the lines, like an enemy within the lines, or like part of that veil between lines. So I feel like that's what her role is, because the UK Prime Minister is already a Skrull. So I feel like that's why I feel like her role is a little bit adjacent, right? Not necessarily a hero, but more like an anti-hero.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
more rougher on it, yeah.
So that's how I still view her character for the time being. Again, y'all might be right. I don't know. That's just how I'm seeing it. And then the action sequence was great. I see that. But this is what confuses me about Gravik, because he's so, like I said, holy than art thou. So you think he would be, Skrull all the time, even when he's not in human form, but he's not. He's always in human form. So
Right.
does that mean you're a triple, quadruple agent? That's where I'm at with this. So I feel like maybe he's working with other people, as Chloe was alluding to. Maybe she's not a Skrull, but she struck a deal with the Skrulls for the UK type of thing.
Well, the one part of that scene that kind of Gaia, when they actually had to take the guy out execution style and kill him, when they show it, when they pan to her face, you can tell like she not feeling Gravik killing other Skrulls, kind of like her dad, a little bit in that way. So I think that can kind of like start getting her to turn a little bit, because like Chloe said, she don't like his leadership styles at all. You know what I mean? A little bit. So
Right.
she could be looking for that as well. So I think what Josh said, like even though she's like kind of not as used as much now, they're kind of planting seeds for her as far as like where she's going with it. And I do think that I don't know. The MI6 lady is weird. I don't know what she's doing. So it's kind of like I need more time with her.
Right.
To see exactly where she at with this whole situation.
And for Gravik, he seems like he likes killing. Like he enjoys catching them bodies.
You know what's crazy? Because the guy, like I said, he did play Malcolm X, right? So it feels like Gravik is like Malcolm X, but by any means necessary.
Yeah. Like okay. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So he's like, if I gotta take out my own Skrulls to do this shit, if I gotta take out whoever, by any means necessary, as long as we get to take over this planet and shit like that.
Yeah, general.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like it reminded me of a gang. Like this movie reminds me of like Gravik is they in the gang.
Yeah.
And it's gang wars. Like, you know what I mean? And you don't win by being nice. Like you win by having power and being ruthless. Yeah. Ain't no friends. It's no relationships. Like we here for a mission. And that was interesting too that you brought that up, because I was also thinking, I'm like, he don't have no love interest. Like none. Like, and if that kind of it reminds, like even in Power, right?
Yeah.
He still has a love interest. Mm-hmm. So in my head, I'm like, is Gaia his love interest? Like, is that going to be something that flourishes? And we find out that's how she manipulates him.
Wow.
I mean, they've
been because they grew up since kids.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
They're both attractive people. Where's the love interest? I'm like, he can't be that gung ho over killing. Like, it ain't that. It's serious, but it ain't that serious. Like, he gotta have somebody, So I don't know. I'm wanting that to happen. Like, I'm wanting them to have like some type of love interest.
Yeah, like when Josh is talking about like him and his actual agenda and stuff like that, it's almost seemed like he started out on an agenda to try to like get the Skrulls refugees. But then somewhere along the line, it went to like ultimate power and taking over the whole, planet basically. So it's interesting. But speaking of love interest, Chloe, good segue. The end of the show with Fury, and he, got another car somewhere he done put together, and he drives, I guess, home, so to speak. And we find out that he's been married and not wearing his ring, but he got a wife. But the wife is a Skrull, but she changes back before he walk in the crib. Let me get EO this first. How you felt about that whole last scene with Fury and the wife?
Right. So I was confused at first because I'm thinking to myself like, oh, okay, so this is why Fury fighting so hard for him, because he over here dating the Skrull. And then I'm thinking about it like, wait a minute. She changed before he walked in. But then again, didn't he greeted her like a Skrull though? Mm-hmm. So I feel like he knows that's a Skrull.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What you think, Chloe?
I went through the same question. I think that it was shot like that. So we're like, does he know she's a Skrull?
Yeah.
Or does he know that she's not a Skrull? But part of me, I'm curious to see what happens. But I do think that he knows she's a Skrull because of how he greeted her.
You're right.
And that's his wife. But, and which is why you can see, I think this whole scene was to show why Fury was so invested in helping.
Right.
Because he has a Skrull family. So he's like fighting, let's just say this was black and white terms, right? And he's a white man with a black wife that's passing as white.
Okay.
So he's empathetic for the struggle, and he has the power to help the struggle because he is a white man. But remove that and put it with like he's a human, and he has a wife that's a Skrull that's passing as human, so he's empathetic to the Skrull's plight, and he wants to help how he can, which is how he was taken advantage of by Talos, because Talos probably knows he has a Skrull wife.
It's the same lady from who brought Gravik as a kid.
Yeah, it's the same lady. So like, and that's why I think Gravik's his son, because they probably adopted him.
And that's what you mean. Okay, all right, I get it.
I don't know if they could actually breed together, but I think that they had their own family together, and that was his dad.
You know what? Because she did come in with him, like she was taking care of Gravik already.
Right, right.
So. She's like, he lost his parents. He's an orphan, and even though he looks like a kid, he's really not a kid because he looks like a kid, but we age differently. Right. And so, by the time Gravik probably was exposed to what Sammy was doing, he probably understood it differently than a child would understand it, possibly. Okay. And maybe, Fury like raised him and made him like a super soldier. Like, you know what I mean? He instilled all them values in him, which is why Gravik's able to do what he's doing. And if you think about it, Samuel Jackson ain't try to kill him. No. When he was following him, he was just... And then the earlier reveal, because with these type of shows, they give you like little hints about things that's to come. Remember when we found out Gaia was the dude's, was Talos' daughter? That was a reveal. Right. So I think that the big reveal is going to be that's his son.
Okay. All right. I like that. Josh, how you felt about the wife part though with the Skrull situation?
Oh yeah, I definitely see where E's coming from and where Chloe's coming from. And for me, I always knew that he knew that she was a Skrull just from the greeting. Because typically, if you're going to, let's say, learn a different language, typically you're going to learn a different language to court someone else. Okay. All intents and purposes. If you're going to keep that's why you learn a different.
You're right.
So this is why I know for certain he knows. And I think that's just part of their, security system. This is Nick Fury now. So maybe the protocol is that as soon as the door opens, you in human form no matter what, type of thing. That again, that's how I viewed it personally.
Okay, all right. All will be revealed. So we are finished. We come to an end of this episode, and it's heating up on this whole thing. So this episode 2, I know you're loving the show. I was reading this episode by itself.
For real, with this episode, I'm gonna give it a 8.5.
Okay, that's solid. Chloe?
I'm gonna go with a 9.
Oh, you fell asleep with the first time. You still go with a 9. Okay.
Yeah, I told you I keep on asleep, but when I rewatch it, I'm happily surprised. I'm like, okay, this was great.
Happily surprised. Josh,
I'm gonna give it an 8, and I really liked it, but for me, just an 8 because it's still about Gravik's philosophy and agenda. In addition to not being in his own skin, when this whole community is like, oh, show yourself, be in your own skin. So to me, I don't see any congruency there unless he's a triple or quadruple agent, and also about the connection that they're trying to draw between the civil rights and with the Skrulls, because the Skrulls aren't oppressed. They're bringing the let's say the retribution upon themselves by their behavior, as opposed to people of African descent on this planet who are just oppressed because of how they look. So to me, I understand what they're trying to do with this new woke Marvel type shit, but to me, they were able to allow the great black actors like Don Cheadle and Samuel Jackson to display their wonderful acting ability with the real topic, such as, discrimination and whatnot. I just didn't like that, like the black struggle being paralleled specifically with the Skrulls, because those to me are literally two different species.
Yeah.
They keep trying to make a square fit into a circle. Just to stay woke. I mean, we'll see where it goes. Like, that's how I felt, exactly how you feel about this, Josh. That's how I felt about Falcon Winter Soldier. Yeah. But I feel a little less this way, and I'm trying to figure out why I feel less. Maybe it's the dialogue. Maybe it's because it's Samuel Jackson. I don't know.
Yeah, because Anthony Mackie's trash. No, I'm joking. Yeah, come with the dialogue.
I don't think he's trash. I'm never going to trash a black man, but the way they write his character is trash.
Right.
I hate.
But he has a lot of say in the way he writes character.
Sam.
Falcon.
Malcolm Mackey.
Yeah, and then another thing is
Really?
he don't really even know nothing about comic books because he said this one dumb line like he was like, "Oh, if everybody's a comic book fan, then why did the comic books go out of business? Why? Because once you read the comic book, you can pass it to somebody else. That's why."
Right.
I don't know.
I never thought about that part actually. That's pretty genius actually what you just said. Anyway, I'm gonna go with a solid 9 too. I'm very intrigued, very into it, and I'm happy the shows are almost an hour. I know how Disney Plus could be with that.
Right.
So I'm excited about that part. Yeah, Josh remember
37 minutes.
Yeah, 32 minutes. Like wow, like Mandalorian being like 26 minutes, shit like that. So this is better. But I'm gonna go with a solid 9. I'm looking forward to seeing what happened next time. So for that, thank you guys for coming on. It was a great show. We'll be back next week. At a different time probably, and we'll continue to talk about this and dive into it, and look forward to other movies and shows to talk about. So once again, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.